Good morning, I'm Tracy, the Agapanthus Queen from Littlewood Agapanthus Farm. We've had a lot of questions about how do you pot your Agapanthus? Do Agapanthus grow in pots? Do they do well in pots? So we're going to do a little section on potting Agapanthus. The answer to the question, do they do well in pots? Yes, they do fantastically in pots. You may need to water them a little more. You may need to give them a little more fertiliser because their roots can't go out looking for those nutrients. They're bound in the pot, but yes, they do incredibly well in a pot. One of the things I would say though is if you're putting Agapanthus in a pot, look for a pot which is wider at the top than it is at the bottom. Because if you need to get the Agapanthus out of that pot, you'll break it if the neck is too narrow. The other thing to keep in mind is Agapanthus are pretty strong guys. So if you leave them in a pot for many, many years and it's a clay pot, they'll break your pot. So they will need to be lifted out, divided up and planted on. Okay, we've got this Agapanthus that's been here for quite some time. It wasn't planted very well. It's grown on the side, not in the middle. So we're going to lift the Agapanthus out of here. I'm going to chop the roots down so that the rhizome gets to sit in that nice potting soil with all of those nutrients. And then I'm going to put them into this one. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to lay it on its side, and then I'm going to give it a bit of a, with my foot. You'll notice that it's got tuberous roots coming out of the bottom. So it's best to try and get rid of those, particularly if they've come right out, as sometimes they do, because otherwise it'll stop the Agapanthus from coming out. And then I tip it over and out it comes pretty easily. Now I'll get rid of all these dead leaves and things. And as you can see, it's pretty pot bound on this side, but it's been really planted in the wrong position. So I'm going to get my shovel. I'm going to chop this side off. Not many roots there. And I'm also going to just chop the bottom off. Break up the soil a little bit. And that'll be terrific planted into this pot. So I'm going to put it nicely in the middle, which it wasn't before. And I've put some potting soil in the bottom so that it's not right down the bottom. So I've put some potting soil in there. And then I'm going to put the rest of the potting soil over the top of it. Now with good quality potting soil, you don't really need to add anything else. The Agapantha will think it's gone to heaven with this potting soil. In the growing season, you might fertilise it with a pelletised fertiliser. We use Bounce Back from Nutrog. We love Nutrog because they're a local company here at Kanmantoo and they make beautiful organic fertilisers. Or you might give it a liquid fertiliser with something like Sea Mungus. That's what I would do, and plant up to the collar. Just like that, and then I'm going to water it in. So I'll give it a good water in. Get all the dirt off the leaves, etc. Now I don't need to give it too much water at this time of the year. It's going to be outside and we get a lot of rain here in the Adelaide Hills. So once I've given it a really good water in today, I'll leave that outside in the rain. But if it's not raining, because it's in a pot, you'll need to water it at least 2 to 3 times a week. In the summer here in the Adelaide Hills, we get fairly dry conditions and very hot weather. You know, often 35, 40, sometimes 45 degrees. So Agapanthus in a pot are going to struggle and dry out and burn at those temperatures. So one of the things that we can do to help to stop that is to put some mulch on the top of the soil. Now you can use bark chips, you can use white pebbles, you can use little stones, but it's a good idea to pop something on the top in the summer so that it stops the plant drying out and helps them not to struggle so much. If you've liked what you've seen today, please subscribe to our channel. Please ask us any questions. We're getting some terrific questions coming in and it's great for us and great for you. Press the like button and we'll see you next time.